Hey loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So if this is your first time on the channel, I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button and be sure to click that bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. And if you're an OG that's been here for a minute, thank you so much for coming back. So today we are back with another tiny home. As I said in my last video, which is the Archway to Paradise, I am working on a tiny home series, so I am going to be working exclusively with tiny homes for the time being, and hopefully I give you all some ideas and create some super cool things that your Sims can live their best lives in. And I'm super excited to be sharing this with you all. So here we are. This is called the Double Loft Tiny, and the name is pretty straightforward and to the point. It's a tiny home and it has 2 lofts. So if you're not familiar with tiny home language, or even just like studio apartment or industrial factory conversion lingo, a loft is basically a small area and is usually above your main living space where you would sleep. So that is the main purpose of a loft. Lofts typically don't have a lot of vertical space or a lot of height, so the activity is really limited to sleeping. Some people get really creative and they convert their lofts into offices or like a movie room or a study, but for the most part people use lofts for sleeping. So yeah, I am really excited about this. I got the idea to really get into a tiny home series from this docu-series on YouTube called Living Big in a Tiny House. And what that is basically the host and his partner, they go around the world and they interview different people that have embraced the tiny home movement, and they get their feedback about their process, you know, the cost, the drawbacks, and just really things that they've taken in by joining the tiny home movement. Based on that show, a lot of people say that they have gained like an appreciation for space, and they realize just how much space or just how much things they don't really need, because they've learned how to utilize all of their space properly. And I really enjoy that concept. Me personally, I'm not at a point to where I am ready to live in a tiny home. However, the idea has always intrigued me, and I would love to have an art studio in a shipping container. That is a dream of mine, and hopefully one day I'll be able to make it come true. But for now, I can just live vicariously through my Sims and create all of these awesome homes on a smaller scale. So yeah, how are you guys doing today? I am doing great. I am feeling happy and optimistic, and hope that you all are enjoying this series. We are into the interior now. This is the bathroom. So the way I set it up is that you would come in on the side of the tiny home, or on the long side, and it kind of opens you up right in front of the stairs, and the living room area will be on the right, then the kitchen and bathroom will be on the left, and then you will have 2 lofts above. So we are currently in the bathroom, and I decided to use the sliding door from the Island Living Pack. I just felt like it made the most sense, and I didn't have to worry about the door swinging out into different objects. So I think just from a practicality standpoint, that just worked the best for me. So yeah, we just did the bathroom. Nothing too complicated there. Pretty straightforward. I believe I do eventually switch out the standing shower for a tub, or is it a shower tub combo? I don't know. We'll see it in the tour. And instead of a washer and dryer, I have the clothesline and the wash tub outside. So yeah, I originally wanted to make this off the grid. However, when I realized that I wouldn't have access to water, yeah, that kind of did it for me. And don't get me wrong, I understand how off the grid works, but typically you would have like your own water source. Like in real life, people would either get their water from like a local source, like a well or like a river. And as far as their electricity, they will either have like a generator or solar panels or some way to have that power. So I am still a little confused about the off-grid trait in The Sims 4. Let me know in the comments if you understand in depth what all the off-grid lot trait entails. I would definitely appreciate some feedback from you all. So if you know, please leave me a comment down below. But anyways, we are upstairs now. We are in the second loft. Now originally this was only going to be one loft, which was the main loft on the other side, and the living room area was going to be double height with natural lights. However, I saw that as unused space and I decided to throw in a second loft. So the Sim family that I have here now, it's a family of 3. It's a man, his new wife, and his daughter. So the woman is a stepmom, and the daughter, she stays with them part of the time. So the loft for the little girl is really simple, but it definitely gives her her own space. And the main loft has a few more things in it, but you know, overall I feel like it's really homey, so I like the way it came out. So I just love having this space and being able to provide a little home where all of these Sims can kind of move around and function. This family also has a dog, and his name is Moki, and he's a French bulldog, and he's super duper cute. So I really love how everything came together. Essentially, you got 4 beings living in this tiny space, so it's amazing what you can do if you're able to lay things out properly. I would say what gave me a lot of difficulty was I had a lot of routing areas, specifically in the bedrooms, and I think part of that was caused by items that I sized down, but didn't realize that they were still taking up extra spots on the ground. So especially in the second loft, Sims had a particularly hard time getting around there for the longest, but I eventually worked it out. I would say my favorite part of this build is just the layout. I feel like it's so clean and simple, but it really maximized the space, and I enjoy that. I really like, I guess you would call this like a galley kitchen, and I like how the bathroom is off of it. I just really love watching my Sims go through the sliding door. It's amazing. And then eventually we're going to put a deck on the side where the living room and dining room space is. Like I said, this place isn't big, but it definitely has a lot of function, and I really like it. I love how it came out. I use various packs in here. So I originally wanted this to be base game and island living only, but just thinking about all of the amenities that you would probably want in a home, I had to use other packs. So there's a variety of packs. I do apologize for that, but I feel like everything that's in here is needed. You'll notice that there's not a whole lot of clutter, which is something that I've also noticed from a lot of tiny homes on the internet. You know, people try to minimize the clutter because obviously you only have so much space, and they like to utilize their wall space a lot, which I think is genius. Like literally, I'm looking around my living room right now and there's really nothing on the walls, for several reasons, but you know, I'm just thinking about just how much extra storage and extra items I'll be able to really just adorn the space with if I was to have like shelving or, you know, wall storage or something like that. So definitely things to consider there. But yeah, I really enjoy this pack. This was actually the first real like official completed build that I did with the Island Paradise pack, but I had to do a lot of play testing with it, so I don't know, I had fun. I really adore the wall panels that came with that pack, especially like the weathered panel that's on the outside as well as the inside. I really feel like it helped me to execute kind of like a more homemade look. Of course, this isn't like you know, 2 pieces of wood. You know, this is a nice home in my personal opinion, but I think the weathered panel makes it look a little bit more of a DIY, which is what I was going for. And like I said, this place has a lot of good amenities. So it has a working stove, sink, bathrooms. Like, there's no outhouses here. Like I said, I'll eventually add a deck. And then there's 2 bedrooms. I mean, they're technically lofts, but you know, there's 2 bedrooms, and there's plenty of space where if your Sims want to be social, they can go outside or sit on the deck. And if they want to have some private time, there's plenty of space for that upstairs. So I really love how everything came out. So yeah, how are you guys doing today? I hope everyone is doing well and are having a wonderful day. I have a question of the day. Question of the day is, if you could live in your perfect tiny house, what would it be like? What would be some of the features? How would it look? Would it be a tiny house that travels, or would it be a permanent tiny home? Please get really creative in the comments. I would love to read all of you guys' stories. My perfect idea of a tiny home, I would definitely want something a bit more on the modern side, but I also wanted to have a bit of character. Like, I don't want it to feel so cold that it's sterile, but I would want it to be like clean cut, easy to maintain. Definitely would love to have like AC and running water. Something that kind of scares me a little bit about tiny homes is where people have like the composting toilet. Now, on the web series that I've been watching, a lot of people don't mind having a composting toilet, and they say that they don't really have an issue with it. I think part of that just depends on the one that they chose to invest in. And they say they don't have to change it as often, which is something that would kind of freak me out a little bit, you know, changing my toilet, but you know, it's necessary. I know a lot of people use the contents in that for gardening, so I'm not quite there yet, but for those who are, you are definitely a MVP in my book. Anyway, back into the build. We are upstairs in the lofts, and originally both lofts were supposed to have like this partition here that came with the Island Paradise pack. I really love the curtain kind of like swagged look and how it's pulled to the side. And in my mind, you know, if you want to be more social, or you know, have more natural light shine into your loft, you would have it open, and when you want a bit more privacy, you would go ahead and close it off. However, it was just giving me the blues in this second loft, so I do eventually get rid of those, but I still think it's pretty okay. I don't have any complaints. I'm just glad that everything was working, because like I said, I had a lot of routing errors. So I'm just glad that's no longer an issue. I really love the kitchen. It's not too over the top. It has just everything that you need, but I like the fact that it's a galley kitchen, and at the end it leads to a new room. I know that a lot of people who end up living in a tiny home, they really enjoy their bathroom space, and it makes me kind of look at my house now and realize just how much space I really do have, and how I can utilize it better. Like I said, like I mentioned, the wall storage, but maybe like getting like an ottoman for additional storage and things like that. Like, just researching more into the tiny home movement has really made me want to just get better with utilizing my space. Another issue that I had was in the main loft. I wanted the double bed to be pushed against the wall, because I don't know if it's me or not, but I remember being able to have your sim scoot over to let another sim into the bed, but for some reason it just would not work. Like, is that just a me problem, or is anybody else experiencing issues with sims sharing the bed? I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you're having that issue, and if you found a solution, please let me know. If not, join the club, because I don't understand. But I don't know, that was one of the appeals for the newer game for me, was just like the actions are supposed to be more realistic. I mean, in real life, if you had a bed smushed up against the wall and someone else wanted to lay down with you, like the natural thing would be for you to either scoot over or for them to just climb on from the foot of the bed. I don't know, that's just me, but that was kind of frustrating. But yeah, like I said, eventually everything works, so that is the most important part. I also wanted to make sure that this place was well lit. However, in the loft there are actually sky windows or skylights. Yeah, skylights. And they're beautiful, especially at nighttime. Like you will definitely see in the tour. But I wanted to incorporate those skylights, so I couldn't put like the ceiling light in the middle of the room because you could see it like hanging in the middle of the air, and that's not good. As you just saw, I expanded both lofts because, like I said, I was having a lot of routing errors. This isn't something that I wanted to do, but it worked out for the best, and I don't know, I just feel like it made everything flow a little bit better, and it just allowed me to do a couple more things, like add the wardrobe and, you know, just a couple of decorative items. But anyway, you guys, I have rambled on enough. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up things here. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you all engaging on the channel, and definitely let me know what you want to see next. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to hit that subscribe button and click that bell. What are you waiting for? Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. It helps me out a lot. And please feel free to follow me on my social medias, which are all linked down in the description. And feel free to download this from the gallery. It's going to be under my gallery name, which is Simply-Nisey, and the lot name will be Double Loft Tiny. Anyway, you guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.